Hi there, fifth graders. Today, your writing or ELA writing assignment will be on a video. That way you can watch it when you get a chance to do that. You could watch this in the morning after you have finished your Elves and the Shoemaker AR test, or you can watch this after our morning meeting. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and take out a piece of paper from your binder. You'll need a pencil as well. We are going to fold this, and we're going to fold it like a hot dog. And then we're going to take that hot dog, we're going to fold that hot dog into thirds. Thirds, which means we're going to have 3 pieces, 2 folds. And we're going to unfold it now. Now, this is something you don't have to do, but for the video, it works better for you if you can see these fold lines. Alrighty, now we also have, we're going to title this, we're going to title it The Beginning. And again, you're going to do what I do. If you need to catch up, just pause the video. Middle and end. Now, we're going to talk about some story elements that take place in the beginning, middle, and end of a story. We're going to use the Elves and the Shoemaker, and we're going to look at that. We're going to kind of analyze that text in order to answer some of these pieces and parts. So, the beginning of the story, we usually find our characters, and the setting. So let's think about our characters in the setting, in the story, the Elves and the Shoemaker. I listened to it. Oh, that's right. I know that we have some elves in the story. We have a shoemaker. And then there's one more character. I want you to think about that. Who is that last character? Yep, you got it. The shoemaker's wife. And the primary location that this takes place is in the shoe shop. Now, the middle is where we get a little bit more into the meat of the story. Now, notice that these are kind of just notes. We're not writing this part in complete sentences. These are just notes. So the problem is one of those pieces in the middle. And then we also have the steps to solve the problem. Steps to solve problem. So the problem in this story, I'm going to think back, okay, he's poor. He makes that leather, cuts it out, and he wakes up in the morning and the shoes are all sewn. So this is actually a little bit of a mystery story. So the problem is, who is making the shoes? I don't know. Read the story. You should know. And then some steps to solve the problem. So what did he do to try to solve that problem? He hid behind the coats at night to see who was making the shoes. And then when we get to the end is going to be the solution, or how did they solve the problem? So we figured out the mystery. We learned that the elves were making the shoes. The elves are making the shoes. Woohoo! And then it also ties it up in a nice little bow for us because the shoemaker and his wife do something really nice for the elves. What do they do? So we know that they made the elves clothes and shoes as a thank you. And we can think back what happened to the elves. What did they do? The elves took the gift and I don't know, lived happily ever after. We put that there. Lived happily ever after. So we can take that story, we can have the characters, the settings in the beginning, the problem and how they tried to solve the problem in the middle, and that main part, that ending, is that solution. How did they solve the problem and how did it kind of wrap up the story? Now, your assignment is going to be to fill out beginning, middle, and end. This is going to be more of a summary, so you're going to turn the beginning, middle, and end into shortened 2 to 3 sentences. So, at the beginning of the story, so I'm going to give you some sentence starters. At the beginning, the shoemaker what? You've got to finish that sentence, and you're probably going to need to add a sentence or two more there. Then the middle talks about he wanting to solve that problem. He wants to figure out who is making the shoes. So we can say, then he wanted to figure out who was making the shoes. So he, what? What did he do? You, again, might have to write another sentence or two there. And then the last part, you want to wrap that up. Tell me what happened at the end of the story. Finally, he what? Now, again, remembering that the beginning, middle, and end, these are going to be complete sentences. These are going to be like a retell, like a summary of the story. These pieces down here are going to be those notes. So for your assignment, again, you should have written this square, and this square together with me. Then on your own, I want you to retell the beginning, middle, and end of the story. That way, we can see that we have these pieces inside of those little summaries. Now, when you are done with this, you've completed it, I want you to take a screenshot of this on your iPad, or take a picture of your paper on your iPad, and then submit that picture onto Otis. The assessment will be titled The Elves and the Shoemaker Story Map. So the Elves and the Shoemaker Story Map. Make sure you let your teacher know if you have any questions.